So apparently remember that teen that got hit with the baton and that girl that hit her apparently ends NAACP crying racism. Okay, well, Nate the lawyer actually is going to break it down for us. I'm gonna put the link in the description so you can watch the whole thing and how Nate the lawyer, how he breaking down the whole thing. But this is, you know, there's lot of things going on, so I guess. So let's watch it.
Now, with an update on that baton blunder making headlines, Tam, you can see it
Baton,
here.
yeah.
The high school track runner accused of attacking her opponent with a baton is now facing assault and battery charges. All this happened during a relay race at the Virginia High School League Championships.
Oof,
Kaelen
yeah.
Tucker was gaining speed on Alaila Everett when Everett appeared to suddenly swing her baton, hitting Tucker in the back of the head. Everett calls it an accident and says she lost her balance.
So let's talk about this baton story, and we're gonna figure out how racism got
Yeah,
involved in this whole thing
I
because
mean
these
they're
are
both
two
black.
black athletes who got into an altercation, and people are screaming the whole thing is racist. So let's talk about
I
it.
don't, yeah. Maybe okay. I'm gonna take a wild guess though. Maybe it's because of the public opinions and then the public outrage and some of them are white. I don't know. Maybe they're calling her names or slurs or something like that. So yeah, that's not right. But it's her hitting the other girl, her getting charged. That's I don't. There's no racism playing into that. It, let's watch it.
Okay, before we get into the whole racism issue in this story, which I don't know how it developed, let me give you the details on what happened. Now, I got to take you back to March 4th, 2025, and this is a high school track at Liberty University in Virginia. Now, this
Yeah.
is Alaila Everett. She's a senior and she's participating in the 4 by 200 meter relay. Now, that's when Kaelen Tucker, another participant, started passing Alaila during the
Hmm.
race. And then this happened.
Incident from a Virginia state championship relay race last week has made headlines. You can see Alaila Everett appearing to use her baton
See
to
that?
hit her competitor, Kaelen
I
Tucker,
mean,
from a
those are
different school in the head. Tucker told our affiliate in
um,
Roanoke, Virginia, she was diagnosed with a
aluminum.
concussion and possible fractured skull.
So, since there are two sides to every story, let's hear from each of these young ladies, and they're going to give you their
And they're
perspective
pretty
on what
hard.
they believe happened. So, let's start with the young lady who was hit with the baton. Here's how she saw the events.
And I just thought about it. You know what's going to happen now? They're probably going to replace that baton with non-lethal. You know, maybe they gave him some like those pool noodles instead of a steel or hard baton. But I don't know. Based
When you get on the other
based on
side of
that,
the track, you have to cross into lane one. You have to merge in. And as
yeah.
I was coming up on her, she kind of like made me like get cut off a little bit, so I backed away. And then as we got around the curve, she kept bumping me in my arm. And then finally, when we got off the curve, I like slowly started passing her, and then that's when she just hit me with the baton and I fell off the track.
Kaelen ran off the track and her mother ran onto it. Team
Yeah.
trainers came to her aid and the opposing school, IC Norcom, was quickly disqualified. But the damage had already been done.
I could feel like
Yeah.
a headache coming up,
Oh,
so I just set out. But I recently went to the doctor and they prescribed me with a concussion and a possible fractured skull.
So, if we're looking at this as a court case, that's the plaintiff's whole argument. I was on the track, running, this is
it
what
looks.
happened, and
See how like she swung that from just raining and then she just like boom right here. Man, I'm surprised she didn't pass out.
ended up with a
She didn't get
fractured skull and
KO.
concussion because this woman hit me in the back of the head. Now, let's hear from the defendant, the woman
Oh
who
boy.
actually hit this young lady with the baton.
Could you just walk us through that day and just that lap? Could you just walk us through that?
Um, as I was merging, I was coming from lane 6. She was in one of the inner lanes. So all I see is one person in front of me. I'm like, okay, I'm in second place. We get to the curve
Yeah.
and I feel someone coming up on me and I see like yellow in my peripheral vision.
Yellow.
So I'm running and she's just getting closer and closer to the point where like she's up on me and my baton is her elbow, like her arm's really hitting my baton to the point where I lost balance and then it literally went behind her
Where?
back. I'm in a position like this. It rolls up her back. My arm goes up because it rolled up her back. My body twisted. The curve is that way. I have to run that way. So I'm like this in the air. I
Yeah,
catch my
that's
balance, pump my arms. She's cutting in. So when I pump my arms, she got hit. And I kept the baton up afterwards because she was running off of the track and I didn't want to hit her again. And when I seen her run off the track, I wanted to help her, but in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, she initiated it. I'm sorry I hit her. I didn't mean to hit her. It was intentional, but I'm going to pass the baton off. After I passed it off, it was people around her, and I'm like, oh, what if they think it was on purpose? So I asked my coach what to do.
So now, clearly you've heard from both sides, and since they're charging her with assault and battery, the first question should be, well, what's a battery? Well, Virginia courts have defined a battery as a simple touching of another willfully or in anger, and this includes touching done in rudeness or in insult. This also includes being touched by an object set in motion by the accused, such as whips
whips
or, in
and
this particular case, a baton. Now, for the defendant in this case to get out of the battery charge, they'd have to show that this wasn't intentional. It's not willful. As you heard the young lady say, this was an accident. She didn't mean to hit her in the head. She just lost balance and the baton hit her in the head. And that defense would likely work in a battery case. But again, that's only if the jury buys it. So now the next step in the process.
So lost her balance and the baton hit her. That, that basically, yeah, that's her argument. Lost her balance. I mean, I don't know how that.
Process is police and prosecutors have to determine if there's probable cause to arrest this young woman for battery. Now, probable
Isn't
cause
she
is best
underage?
defined as a reasonable belief backed by some type of evidence that a crime has been committed and the person that you are about to seize or arrest had committed that particular crime. Now, this can't
Yeah,
be a hunch or some suspicion. It has to be backed by some evidence. For instance, like in this case, you have a video of the young lady actually striking the other woman with the baton.
that's
Well, police and prosecutors looked at this case and determined that they believe they had enough probable cause to charge the young lady with assault and battery.
Well, back now with an update on that baton blunder making headlines, Tam. You can see it here. The high school track runner accused of attacking her opponent with a baton is now facing assault and battery charges. All this happened during a relay race at the Virginia High School League Championships. Kaelen Tucker was gaining speed on Alaila Everett when Everett appeared to suddenly swing her baton, hitting Tucker in the back of the head. Everett calls it an accident and says she lost her balance.
So I'm like this in the air. I catch my balance, pump my arms. She's cutting in. So when I pump my arms, she got hit.
I just felt a bang on my head and then I fell off the track immediately.
Tucker suffered a concussion from it. The judges disqualified Everett, who says the public scrutiny has turned into harassment and death threats.
Death threats, racist people,
there it
people
is.
making fake accounts to talk and harass me on my page.
And the Everett family
She's a
has
victim now. She's
apologized.
the
The assault and
victim.
battery charge would be a misdemeanor.
So now, if you slow this video down and really look at this altercation,
Yeah.
it really looks like she was hit in the head intentionally. Now, we don't know what was going on in the young lady's head, but you
Frustration.
can come to a conclusion based on
She
the
got
facts and
frustrated.
circumstances that you see. Was she just upset the other girl was running past her? Now,
Yeah.
on the other side, there could be an argument that this was just a tragic accident and that there was no intent to harm this other person. If that's the case, then you'll be not guilty. So I don't know how this is going to play out.
She
Yeah,
pumped
I
her
don't
arm
either.
forward to regain her stride, and that's when Tucker got hit. But for many watching the viral video that shows the incident from the front, they think it was intentional.
Or just seeing one video and it looks bad from that angle.
A certified USA track and field official even slowed down the video to show just how close the two athletes were competing. And for anyone watching it with just the naked eye, it's just too close for anyone outside of these two athletes to call.
Leaving certain things out did so much damage to our family.
The Portsmouth
Oh,
NAACP
boy.
released this statement in support of both families and called out the racial slurs and death threats that Alaila and her family have received. Lynchburg Commonwealth's attorney Bethany Harrison says a petition for 1 count of assault and battery has been issued. In response to that, Portsmouth NAACP saying, quote, "We are committed collectively to ensuring that the criminal justice system, which we feel is not warranted in this situation, is executed fairly and based on due process."
So let's wrap all this up. The state's going to say the defendant here did this intentionally and she caused harm to this other young woman. She has a skull fracture and a concussion, which makes this a simple battery because of the willful nature of it. While the defendant in this case is going to say this was just an accident. She was falling, lost balance, and accidentally hit the other runner in the head. And obviously you see who their expert witness is going to be, the other coach, saying that they were too close and accidents like this would likely happen. But it's not about what they're saying, it's about what you see. So now the NAACP...
And I don't even know when was the last time I seen that an incident like that. I mean, if you can show, if you can show the judge, the jury, or whoever that incident like this happens all the time in the track, that maybe they will rule out as an accident, but that's clearly in the video, whether it be in the back or in the front. I don't know what these guys are. They're just bending to, bending the truth and the whole thing. Just, it's not, to me, if you're going to ask me, she got frustrated. Another girl's coming through. Maybe they got bumped right. And I see there's some contact within the elbow. She got frustrated and just hit her in with the baton. That's basically it happened. It's just probably, what I'm saying is it's probably like in the act, right, in instance. And she probably regret the doing it, like, again, but, consequence.
CP's got involved and said, hey, we believe these charges are racist and we don't believe she should be charged at all. Now, understand this. This is one black woman hitting another black woman, breaking her skull. She literally had a fractured skull. And they're saying that because the attacker was black, she shouldn't be charged.
I love y'all.
Everett and her family were surrounded by support Thursday evening, speaking out at a rally organized by community members, all unified with one message.
Stand for Alaila Everett! We stand for Alaila Everett!
First of all, we want to say unequivocally that Alaila is not a criminal and she's not an attacker.
Portsmouth NAACP President James Boyd says it was important for him to attend this rally to discuss more on the statement
What is that, like,
NAACP chapter put out in
20
response
people?
to the now
30
viral
people?
incident. Boyd says the most striking detail from all of the outrage is the fact that Alaila faces an assault and battery charge, a charge he and the Lynchburg NAACP chapter aren't pleased with.
Our Lynchburg NAACP leaders had a meeting this morning with the Lynchburg Commonwealth attorney.
Okay. So why not? I don't understand though. They're both black. So why not? You know what? If the person that hit the other person's black, NAACP will probably, of course, always be on the, the black black side. What I'm saying is they both black though. So it's because it's lighter than the other or darker than that. I don't know how that works.
The purpose of that meeting was to go in and advocate that no charges should be levied against Alaila.
He believes the charge of assault and battery did not stem from the office of the Lynchburg Commonwealth's attorney, Bethany Harrison, but instead it possibly came from the parents of the other involved athlete, Kaelen Tucker.
So it could have lasting effects on her college admission, could have lasting effects on her scholarship.
So just to be clear, This was a black athlete attacking another black athlete, giving her a concussion. And the NAACP doesn't want the person who attacked the other black individual to be held accountable. This is the whole problem. Criminals need to be held accountable.
Yeah.
There's no excuse for what she did. And she can say it was an accident, but that's for a jury to decide. What she did was assault that other young woman, and she should be charged. Did you see an assault and battery here, or did you see
Yes.
a tragic accident? Let me know in the comment section. And again,
Let's
if you listen
see.
to my voice right now,
I see
don't
an assault.
forget to hit that subscribe button. My name is
I see an assault, Nate. That's an assault. But what happened to the other family, though? How come NAACP is not on their side? Maybe it's because the family, I don't know. Maybe the what do you call that? The silent fan, I don't know what to call it silent, but the person that hit the other girl, maybe they know somebody that works for NAACP. Maybe they, you know what I mean? So who knows? Well, let's wait it out. Let's wait it out. Let's wait it out.